Hi, welcome to our lesson on confidence intervals for the proportion. So in this section we have a new statistic parameter pair, and that's for the proportion. So notation is important in this class, remember. So far we've got x bar as the point estimate from u, we've got s as the point estimate for sigma, and now we have p. P hat is the point estimate for p. So p hat is the sample proportion and p is the population proportion. So if you're keeping up with your note cards, as I highly recommend, you need to write these two symbols on there, p hat and p. So again, we use p hat to estimate p, and if they ever ask you for the point estimate for p, you're going to tell them p hat. So the calculation for p hat is pretty simple. It's just the number in the sample with some characteristic of interest divided by the sample size. So for example, if we have a sample of 200 people, 48 are left-handed, x is 48, and n is 200. So 48 would be, in terms of StatCrunch, the number of successes, and 200 would be the sample size. So here our sample size, or our sample proportion is 0.24. Pay close attention to the x out of n, because that's one important way you can tell that a confidence interval problem is asking for the proportion. So if they say x out of n, like 48 out of 200, that's one important clue that it's for the proportion. So here's the formula for the confidence interval for p. This is a little bit more complicated, but it's still doable. The values of z alpha over 2 are exactly the same as they were for the z interval before. And so here's an example. So we said we've got 200 people, we've got 24% being left-handed. We want to calculate a 99% confidence interval for the proportion, so we just plug in. And I'm not going to go through that calculation because I wanted to show it to you, but in reality, for our purposes, we're just going to go straight to StatCrunch for that. So you can do them by hand, but if you want, you don't have to. But I really want to see you do them in StatCrunch. So basically, when you get this interval, the conclusion is going to be we are 99% confident that between 16.22% and 31.78% of all people are left-handed. You could also say we are 99% confident that the population proportion is between those two numbers. There are some mild variations on that. That would be okay. All right. So again, pay close attention to the tutorial on how to use StatCrunch. So much easier than doing this by hand. All right, that's it.